St. Maarten is actually really, really small. Like, you could, if you really wanted to, you could walk from one side of the island to the other in a day. I mean, it would take you all day, but you could do it. And I loved serving there. I served there for almost 6 months, and it's divided into two halves. Like, the French government and the Dutch government share the island. Basically, everyone speaks English, though, because it's a very touristy island. So everyone uses American money. Everyone speaks English for the most part. The French side of the island has much more of an influence of French culture than the Dutch side does for Dutch culture. So that's interesting. The church there is a little smaller because the island itself is smaller. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting cultural experience. I met people, like, I served on the Dutch side for a while, and I met people from all over the world. I remember I met a guy from Syria that I tried to have a conversation with. That was very interesting. And there were people just from everywhere, like, it was really interesting. And they have a medical school there that a lot of the members there are members from the U.S. that are attending medical school there. So that was definitely interesting. Since it is more of a touristy area, there are a lot of areas you have to avoid just because, beaches and like marketplaces and stuff like that. But it was definitely a fun area to serve in. Definitely a positive part of my mission. So like I said, St. Maarten is really, really interesting because it's an island, it's a small island, and it's divided into two halves. One's controlled by the French government, one's controlled by the Dutch government. But since it's a very touristy island, there's a heavy American influence. In fact, they use American money for basically everything. And it's just a really, really interesting place to serve. You get people from all over the world that come there to live, and like people from all over the Caribbean, but also just from everywhere. Like, I met people from India, from Syria, from just anywhere in the world. Just very, very interesting culture. I would say the French side has a heavier cultural influence than the Dutch side does, just because, like, the Dutch side is more of the touristy type area. The church there, when I was there, was pretty small. It's supplemented by all the American students that go to the medical school there. As far as, like, culture goes, it's really just a huge melting pot of cultures, I felt like, because you have, like, you can get food from just about anywhere in the world there. They do have, like, very, like I said, a heavy American influence. So, like, when you go to the store, you can buy, it wasn't a Costco. It was there was one store that was really like a Costco that was there. So that was pretty cool. They have a lot of American restaurants like McDonald's, Burger King, stuff like that, Subway. And then also, like, a lot of, like, more cultural things as well. Like, they had shawarma carts and, places you could go, like, to get Caribbean dishes. They had some resorts there as well that, they would serve more, like, local dishes. You could go and, like, get seafood and lobster and things like that.